Guys, it's 1 a.m. here, so what I was want to just talk about, I was sitting here reflecting a little bit, and I was thinking about like why some people succeed and then there's like, other people that just totally don't succeed. So I just wanted to, upload a quick little video here saying like what's going through my mind. I think I might have some good pointers here. Honestly, I think you guys can just relate, because like there's certain reasons to why, there are some people just can't get to their goals, while other people are just, they're gonna make it work no matter what. There's certain personality here, certain type of flipping the switch, who you are as a person, like I already said, and like how to get from where you are to the place you want to be. And that's what I want to talk about in this video right here, right now. So listen, I work with a lot of people. I obviously myself, I run e-commerce stores. That's where I make the majority of my money. So like my income is usually from running my own dropshipping stores, make a good amount there, and I also manage some other dropshipping stores for other people, automating it, running their ads, working with some bigger brands and everything. And then I do a little bit of coaching. So what I've seen from the coaching, which honestly is probably what's going through my mind here, is number one, common sense is not common, which I want to get into here in a second. Hopefully I will remember it though. But the other thing I see is like people just dwelling. I see this all over the time. People just dwelling, they're complaining about their situation and that they're stuck in school, it could be whatever, while never trying, to flip the switch and actually get to that part. And that's one thing I see with like a lot of people. They complain about their circumstances, they complain about the situation, things you can totally control. And if you're a 15-year-old, and you're complaining about things, it's easy to just, someone who says like, hey man, why are you complaining? And they're like, hey man, I'm only 15 years old. Like there's certain things you can do to change your life anyways, even though you're just 15 years old. So like there's some things you can't use as an excuse as well. But I just see this all the time. People complaining about their situation but not putting in the effort to change it. Like if you start a business and you work for an hour a day, you're not putting in enough effort to change your situation. And especially not this thing. Like a lot of people, they want to change their life, so they go completely ham for a week, or like let's just say for 2 days. They work really hard, they'll put in the effort. So like for example, Monday and Tuesday, these guys will be working really hard, and then the next week complaining why I'm not successful, when they just spent 2 days making, putting in the work, doing similar things like that. And then the next part of the week they don't do anything, and maybe on Friday again they log on to their business and work for like 20 minutes, but in theory they're not working, they're just keeping themselves entertained. They're not working smart or anything, they're just working, or just pretend they're working. They're watching a Gary Vee video, feel the dopamine, like hey, I'm a productive guy, I'm learning something. But learning can be confused by doing, and a lot of people is getting like I've seen myself doing this thing, like confusing learning with doing. Sometimes you just sit there, you just look at everything, you're trying to learn things, but honestly it's just to keep you entertained. But it's like keeping you entertained in an okay way, because as long as you're learning, you can keep yourself entertained in an okay way. But if you're watching a video game, a live stream, it's a wrong way of keeping you entertained. But the truth is, dude, if you've been learning for 5 months now and you still just sit there and learn, it's honestly just entertaining yourself, but it just feels better. But you need to flip the switch, you need to take the action, because there are people out there that dude, the dream you have is other people's dream as well, and they work so hard to get it. Like I know a couple of my friends, they've had problems with their parents and everything in business, obviously, because they don't believe in them or nothing like that, but they still win in the end. They still go ham, whatever their parents may say. Like these guys are young, obviously. I'm a little bit older now, I'm 19. I didn't really have a struggle with my parents. Obviously they never believed in me, not at all. They never had any thoughts that I would make this thing work. Obviously made it work, so they didn't believe in me, but I never had like a big problem with him, But a lot of people have these problems, and they are the guys who make it work. This is the funny part. The people that usually comes from the roughest background when it comes to success, though, not just living life normally, but the people who comes from the roughest background, they're usually more driven towards, success than the people are not. I mean, if they're trying to achieve success, don't get me wrong, there's probably a lot of people that starve who end up starving in the end too, right? But the people that comes from the worst background, but still, they're able to get food on the table, maybe, like, or go to school, these guys are usually the ones succeeding, because they want more out of life. They want to change maybe stuff for their family, I don't know. But what I'm just saying is like the people that has, the least chance of winning are the people that are winning, or not the least chance, but like the people that comes from the worst backgrounds. They have the other people just have so much more resources, so much more reason to win. It's usually the people that comes from the rough background who wins. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, I didn't come from a rough background at all. I come from a pretty good background. I really did. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with my background, to be honest. Never rich, never poor, kind of in the middle. Been struggling like a little bit with money sometimes, but I think we're doing good, to be honest. I think we are doing pretty well. And that is the thing, I still managed to make it work. But I'm just saying, so you're going up against people who's just had like bad time in general. They want to provide for a family, and they're going 16 hours a day. They're always working. I'm not saying you have to work 16 hours a day. Figure out something smart that you could do for like 2, 3, 4 hours a day. But you're going up against people like that. You're going up against people like me, for example. I would sit down here if there was a problem to solve my business. I'd sit down here for 18 hours to solve it, dude, and then I'll sleep for 6 and get up. Obviously, I'm not working that hard normally. I rarely do that. But if there's something super important, I'll do whatever I gotta do. And when I was trying to succeed, I never cared if I lost any money. Like whatever I may lose in my business, if it was $100, $1,000, dude, I never cared. I mean, if I get scammed, I'd be like, oh, that sucks. But I mean, I still never cared. Some things can be a little bit boring, but I never let my emotions get into this. And this is also what I see, when people get emotions into it, start blaming others, blame like that's the strategy, there's something wrong here, or just confusing working hard and working smart. For real, I think most of you guys watching, maybe not everyone, but a lot of you guys watching probably just has to go harder. Like you've been studying this business for 3 years, putting some money into it maybe, and you're still not successful. I think that comes more down to the discipline than the knowledge and not knowing what you're doing, or maybe not taking action on getting the knowledge, just keeping yourself entertained. So I think there's like a lot of people who just needs to go harder, and that's about it. And when it comes to working smart and everything, from what I've seen, because I get a lot of DMs every single day, I'm not making fun of anyone, do not get me wrong. I'm just saying that, for example, when it comes to like common sense, it's truly not common. Ty Lopez talked a little bit about this when I was like 15 years old watching his podcast or whatever. But common sense it's definitely not common, and people ask for help for the next step. But I think like a lot of people ask for help for the next step when it's just one Google search away, just because then they feel like they can delay their success. Listen to this, okay? So you ask a question of how can I do this, and while you're waiting for me to answer how you can do a super simple question, you now have, for example, if I don't reply in 10 hours, you now have 10 hours to pretend like I can't do anything because I'm waiting on an answer when it's just a Google search away. And that's one thing I see with a lot of people, actually, like they could use their common sense and just Google it. I think it's more discipline, honestly. Google it or send me a message, and if I don't answer to their message, they're not gonna work. But they can obviously just Google the question and they'll get the answer instantly. Super, super simple. But it's like, now I'm still waiting for a reply, so I haven't started. Have you started this business? No, I'm still waiting for my legal papers or something like that. I mean, if you have to get it, do not get me wrong. But there's probably some things you guys can do in between, right? Instead of just waiting. So I just feel like a lot of people are not taking action. I feel like that's a massive problem. They're taking action, but they're taking 99.9% action or 40% effort, but you gotta be 100% in. And never confuse 100% dedication with 99.9% dedication. Like for me, I knew was going to be successful. Like when I dropped out of college, I made probably $100 online. Nothing. I definitely did not make good money at all. I didn't even make money, to be honest. Maybe I made $100 online. But I was so in, and these are the people who are going up against it. I was so in that I dropped out just because I knew I was going to make it work. Like I'm so determined. So it's like for me, it was safe to drop out because I knew that no matter what happened, if I end up on the street homeless, I would still make this thing work. And that's the thing. Like you can drop out if you dedicate. I'm not saying to any one of you guys watching, go drop out of school or go hate on your parents. That's obviously not what I'm saying, but you guys know that. But I'm just saying, the moral of the story is I dropped out because I knew it was going to make it work. And what I'm trying to teach you guys here is if you're 100% in, there's no way you're going to fail. But you got to be 100% in. You got to turn off your video games. You just got to flip the switch and you got to change. And honestly, I think some people don't have the personality for it. I don't know if it can be grown, if you can turn into a person like that. I mean, from what I can say, I used to be really lazy playing video games and everything. I completely flipped the switch and changed everything for me. Do I think everyone can do it? I don't know. I'm a positive thinker on it. Maybe everyone can do it. I'm pretty sure most people can do it, but I don't know if everyone can do it. There's so many excuses, and probably if I were to go over excuses I don't like, I mean, people would just hate on me in the comments. But there are so many excuses, so many things that's obvious. I mean, obviously things you don't say, but things that are true, and people can get offended by it, but at the end of the day, it might still be true. But there's just a lot of excuses, and there's stuff you see all the time. Just a little rant here. I don't even know why I turned on the camera and recorded this, but I just feel like, if I can spread a message, maybe it could help. I don't know. I mean, people probably just gonna still go back and play video game after watching this video. But there's so many excuses. There's so many reasons not to do things. Waiting, delaying, not taking action. Take massive action. If you can't take massive action, you're one of those guys, then don't take massive action. Take an hour a day. That's way better than just jumping straight on like I'm gonna work 16 hours, delete all my video games and go ham. That doesn't work. You'll get burned out, you quit, you get demotivated. You need to rely on discipline more than motivation. Motivation disappears after 2 weeks. Then you feel like a rush of motivation every once in a while. So like you're just sitting here and then just whoop, it comes into your body and you just feel like I'm the king, I'm motivated, I'm gonna do this thing. And 2 days later, it's gone. If you discipline yourself, motivation comes. So like motivation is discipline at one point. Motivation gets you started, discipline keeps you going, right? But discipline creates motivation. If I'm disciplined, I feel more, good. I'll feel more motivated to do my task later. So that's basically it, guys. Just please press the thumbs up button, make sure you subscribe and comment, and if you press the thumbs up, please just do it. I'll be happy. And yeah, that's about it, guys. See you.